Alrighty. Okay. We are good to go. Just making sure. All right. So, what's going to happen today is we're going to talk about the concept of stairs and rope and escalating your income. Uh, Most folks want to make more money, and many people are perfectly capable of making more money. However, many people do not have the framework or the environment. So, what we want to do is get into what you're going to need to get started, what you're going to need to actually begin this process. Which brings me to the concept of rope and stairs. And I know that seems very, very simple. And I'm going to start off like this. When I was a kid and we used to go to PE in the gym, there were these ropes attached to the ceilings. And what we would do is go in there and we climb up, hit the ceiling or hit a bell, and then we come back down. The average kid could not do that today. Now, that's very important. And then we see stairs everywhere. You know, going up the courthouse steps, there's stairs. Going in buildings, there's stairs. There's stairs in stoops. There's stairs everywhere. And I want you to think of stairs as opportunity. And I want you to think of rope as opportunity that you must develop yourself to obtain. Now, a lot of people don't take stairs. Why don't people take stairs? They're hard. If you're out of shape, it's really hard. You know, you may get winded after a flight or two of stairs, so you really don't. So what you're looking for is an elevator. Now, elevators take out all of the guesswork out of ropes, takes out the exertion of going up the stairs. But elevators are very expensive from a front end position because when you build a building or a house and you're going to have an elevator in it, you must set the foundation and spend the money up front before you get that elevator in your house. And this would be like a franchise or a turnkey business or buying a business that someone has built up, and you could just walk in and instantly start making money. That's an elevator. So we have elevators, we have stairs, and we have ropes. Now, one of the big problems that many people have with making money is they don't understand the environments. Most people could take a stair. Stairs like Craigslist, eBay, Amazon. Essentially, you have to put some effort into it. You have to do some research, but you can go up that flight of stairs. But if you notice, after each flight, it gets harder and harder and harder unless you're in shape. If you're in shape, you could do 30 flights of stairs and it'll be a good workout for you. But if you're not in shape, it could be impossible, even though the opportunities available to everyone. So hopefully I made a lot of sense with all of this because people are looking for elevators to reduce their workload, to make money faster, to get to these higher levels. But the upfront cost of an elevator is so out of league for most people, it's ridiculous. And this is why I talk about income. This is why I talk about what people are making. On my Facebook page, I put up today that people who are making 5 million. Well, let's go ahead. There's having a company that makes $5 million a year, but not necessarily be a $1 million company. Company could be losing money, but there are 1 million people in these United States of America who have a net worth of $5 million or more. 1 million. There's 330 million people in the United States of America. That is not a 1%. That is not even 0.6%. I did the math. It's 0.3.8%. So we can just go ahead and round it up and call it 0.4%. Now, why is this important? you're going to see there was someone that posted an FBA seller who was doing $7 million gross in sales, and people was like, he was smart. His margins were so thin you could see through them, and he had some problems. And apparently, maybe this is his 7th year. Maybe he's been doing good. I don't know, but I do know this, and this is what I was taught: running a low margin business without a tremendous inherent competitive advantage, because selling gas is high cost, low margin. But we have Exxon, we have Shell, we have Mobil. There's not that many people, there's not that many competitors. So it has a very high barrier to entry. And I was just putting out there, and people was just like, he's smart, he's playing this tax game. If you're a Facebook friend of mine, you go ahead and check it out. I posted it on my page. But those type of games are games for people with money and assets already. You have many people who are playing rich folks games with a poor person's mindset. And it is creating false narratives. And this is why I'm doing this stream of rope, stairs, and elevators. And I didn't put elevators in there because most people don't have enough money for an elevator. But you can do the rope if you're in shape, and you can do some stairs. But in any event, to go from nothing up 30 flights of stairs is going to take preparation. It's going to take training. And to climb a rope, you're going to have to develop yourself before you even get on the rope. Because most folks cannot go up there and do that rope. A lot of folks will be freaking out and be scared because it's literally 3 stories up. So this is to introduce you to investing yourself. We're getting into, let me go here. It's very interesting how the later I do these, the less people that show up. I also think the name had a lot to do with it too. People seem to be keyed in on certain names. All right. I had to explain that so this makes sense to the people who are interested in leveling up. And part of this is not finished. What I'm going to do, because I meant to do this weekend, but I was like, you know what? It's Super Bowl. It's crazy stuff. Just do it Monday. I'm going to finish up all of this before I actually start doing the course. It seems to work out much better that way. But we're going to talk about the principle of escalation, why you need to drastically increase your income. And before people get carried away, drastically could be you make $30,000 and you increase it $10K. That's a 25% increase in income. That's drastic. So don't think that you got to go to hundreds of thousands of dollars to be drastic. We're going to go for prepping for success to get you guys queued up for what I'm talking about. Start working out. A lot of people are going to hate that. Read 1 book a week and turn off all notifications on your phone. We live in what's called distracted America. A lot of people are so distracted, they don't even know what's going on. Practice gratitude, organize your life. We're going to go deep in that. Set up your home office, create your work schedule. Must have defined hours. See, like I said, I got to go ahead and clean all this up because that's misspelled. Get started today. Now, regardless of your side business, and this is where we're going to get into the first level of sales. I don't care what you do. I don't care what kind of business you think you have. If there is no one that's saying, hey, Mr. Customer, I want your money, and in exchange of your money, I'm going to do this for you. You don't have someone on your team asking for that sale or getting those sales, whatever way, you're not going to make any money. So we're going to talk about that. And never stop learning to sell. Sell what you would buy. This is very important. I see this every day on the internet, that people want to sell digital products, but these people will not buy a digital product. You got people out here who want to sell $5,000 courses, $15,000 courses, $20,000 courses, but they will not buy a $15,000 or $20,000 course. And one of the things, when I used to be in a lot of these groups, and I would come up and someone would come up with this question: how can I sell High ticket on the internet is 3 to 15K. High ticket in my world is 50 to 100K. And they will not spend the money for what they're trying to sell. And one of the big problems with this is you don't believe in what you're trying to sell, and your mind subconsciously is not going to allow you to go through with it. I bought ebooks. I sold an ebook. I bought online courses. I sell online courses. I don't know if I'm going to do a seminar because it's a lot of work, but maybe one day that will happen. But I don't sell anything I would not buy. That is a firm and practical principle that you need to develop. If you want to sell some stuff that you would not buy, you want to sell a car that you would not drive, you want to sell a house that you would not live in, you're going to have some problems. Not to say you can't do it, but you're not going to do it to the best of your ability. And we're going to go through these and welcome, let's see. And there's nothing here. I'm just setting up the curriculum before I start adding the training. And yeah, because then the way that I'm doing the tiers, this is why everyone who bought, the basic financial education is getting whatever they paid off, because it's included in here. And what I'm doing is predicating for the future. Let's say 2, 3, 4 years from now, someone comes along, they see this video, oh, I like that course. And they'll be able to pick whatever tier they want, start off wherever their money allows them to start, and get in and get this knowledge. And that's why I'm building it this way. I'm building it not for now. There have been people, it's like, hey, Glenn, why don't you just make the course and sell it? When I give these presentations, I monitor the contents, I monitor the chat, and I say, oh man, maybe that shouldn't work. So this isn't being built without input. And also, I do a lot of research before I create these modules. And there's going to be more, because like I said, this weekend, there was a lot of stuff that's going on. And we're going to get into the leap year. That's going to be part of this. And there's going to be some other stuff. So, not going to start selling this until probably Friday, because I want to firm some stuff up. So, what I'm going to do, let's see, is leave your basic financial education at $125. I was going to raise the price, but I said there were some questions, and it is $125 until I make another announcement. So we're going to be talking about environments. We're going to be talking about building stuff, because if you don't have the proper environment, you could be really smart. You can even have a lot of money. You will fail. Environments and narratives and mindset are so important. No, they don't. All right. Listing, making money while learning. What's up, Edward Johnson, Kareem Yee? Pretty much. And they will cost you quite a bit. Oh, low margin. Low margin businesses work if you own the building. I saw all kinds of, well, perhaps he owns the business. He's very smart. And I actually opted out of the conversation. I hit the part where you could receive no more notifications, because there's nothing that I could say that's going to change their minds, because they've bought into that narrative. What I did was I put that information on my page and put my spin on it, and speaking to people in my audience who are open to it. Because this is one thing, and you should learn this in sales. If you're trying to sell something to a person that it does not jive with their inbred programming, you're wasting your time. I know they'll be like, hey, I could sell ice to an Eskimo. No. If you're trying to sell a non-Chevy to someone whose father bought a Chevy, mom bought a Chevy, dad bought a Chevy, you ever notice like these Charger Hellcats are only in certain parts of the country or a certain demographic? Have you noticed that you'll just see certain things in certain demographics? These people have bought in to that particular item, and that's why it sells where it sells. I don't ever see Chargers in my neighborhood. I never see a Charger. Um, every now and then, a Camaro, I do see a bunch of Corvettes, but I see a bunch of Ferraris. I see a bunch of Porsche. I see Range Rovers, BMWs, because people have bought into these narratives. So if I was to go to the South Side and talk to John Lee, and John Lee is working at Delta, John Lee's wife is a stewardess, and they get to travel the world for free, and and they do what they want to do, and he's making good money, doesn't have a lot of bills, and he is living fine the way he's living. There ain't nothing I can tell John Lee. I can say, John Lee, you and Mrs. Lee do not need to have car payments. John Lee and Mrs. Lee have been making these car payments for 15 years. They've been flipping cars every 2 or 3 years, eradicating their net worth, but they're fine. And until John Lee and Mrs. Lee have a crisis, nothing I say is going to penetrate. So that's why I want to say thanks to all you good folks who have actually been around long enough to see that the things I say come true, because a lot of people have very short attention spans. What's up, Fajita? Oh, Reggie Lee, you funny. You funny, you funny, you funny. Oh, I love this. Adonis, my buddy, was what has with welding skills. His welding hours got cut back. I told him to type in industrial furniture design on Google. Now he has 1099 income. Oh yeah, believing your product is huge. It's massive. And one of the problems that happens with people not creating a proper environment, because essentially with investing in yourself, you will be investing in yourself. There's going to be it's going to be 30 days to 2500, but it's going to be on steroids, because there's going to be things that were not in 30 days to 2500, and there'll be other stuff. But I'm going to give you what I have done and am currently doing that has changed my financial roadmap. Because I've been doing a lot of research on this, and it is shocking. I am 52 years old. I have 2 cars that are paid off. I have no debt. I have certain investments. I have money in the bank. And essentially, if I want to retire tomorrow, I could. Based upon my background, based upon my birth situation, that is atypical. That ain't the norm. I have another Facebook page, and I look at where a lot of my friends I went to high school with, and I look at where they are. That is what was waiting for me if I did not get on a different path. And they're not having like horrible lives and stuff like that, nothing like that. But I look at their pages. I was like, hey, I need money for this. We need to get a new car. Essentially, normal people problems. I don't have normal people problems. I have first world. Most people are not even going to care about my problems. And this is something that's going to happen, and this is why we're going to do invest in yourself, is to mentally get you ready to leave your current environment. If your current environment was going to bless you with the freedom, the financial freedom, the funds and stuff that you need to go to another level, why hasn't it happened? You're in the wrong environment for what you desire. And someone told me, who went to 10X, that this year's 10X was heavy on mindset and building service businesses. Mindset and building service businesses. Now, who's been talking about that for like the last 8 years? Why have I been talking about that? Because starting a service business, learning how to sell, if you don't have any of those skills, can quickly, and but I mean quickly, within 2 to 3 years, change your financial roadmap. It'll take you out of normal income. Normal, and someone asked me what middle income was, because I think if you're not making 65K as a single person in most parts of the country, you're poor. We just saw what happened with this shutdown. That third check, we would have saw rioting in the streets if they had missed that third check. You know, these government workers who have above average income were literally 3 checks away from financial ruin. It wasn't government. That was just a template of most of America. That's most of America. And you have to get out of that to have the different kind of life. Let me go back. What's up, Christian Reggie? I'm not going to ever have traditional retirement. And that's a good question. I'm going to read it. Retirement question. In a financial situation like yours, do you ever retire? If so, what does retirement look like? Retirement, probably 15 years from now, will look like me checking in on the business 1 to 2 days a week, me working out, me traveling. That's kind of, retirement for me is not going to be radically different than what it is now. It'll be a little bit different because this is why I'm building all these systems, building all these courses. And I can tell you, someone who did the retire and do nothing, go on trips, just hang out, it's boring. And this is something else too, and no one is ever going to tell you this. When you retire early, the rest of your family, the rest of the world still does stuff on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. A lot of people can't go to lunch because they don't have enough time to meet you for lunch unless they have a certain type of job. So you'll find yourself by yourself a lot if you retire early, and let's say maybe you're married with kids, then that's going to create a lot of work for you to do. But just to be, I was 40, oh, how old was I in 2012, 11? Wow, I was like 44, I think, 40, something like that. There was just not a lot of people around to hang out with, unless, and that's when I started developing all these internet relationships, because they were the only people who could talk in the middle of the day. They were only people who's like, hey man, let's meet up, because most of your family is going to be regular people. Donis, I had a conversation with some of my friends after the Alexa ad in the Super Bowl. I said, imagine if we invested in Amazon with our summer job money, just 2 to 3,000 shares in '97. Don't do that. I used to do that, and it can really mess with you. Don't do the money back quarterbacking. You were a kid, you didn't know this stuff. It's really easy to look back after you have all the information, and go like, yeah, you made the best decision you could based on the knowledge you have, which is why with investing in yourself, we're going to give you a new perspective on that. We were chasing those cars. Who would have thought a book company would do so much today? Actually, many companies that start off as one thing end up doing many other different things. It's common. Oh, they call that. I didn't know that. All right. For those guys who are interested, the link should be there. For those of you who want to get into investing yourself, and once again, let's be clear: you will go into basic financial education. Then later this week, once I fill out all the curriculum, because I'm not going to start on it until I get all that figured out, get everything spelled correctly. Then, those of you who have bought your basic education, whatever you spent, you're going to get a coupon, a link to a coupon, or you can get into invest yourself minus what you spent. You're not ever going to spend what you already spent to acquire what you already have. That makes no sense. Originally, oh man, part of the problem is, and this is something else I found when I was retired, breeds a lot of contempt and jealousy. My situation happened during that period, and I was kind of looking back at that, and I believe her one of her intentions was I was a grown man, and she needed to find something for me to do. I remember we used to have these conversations because she didn't really understand how much money I was making. I never would just straight up like, oh yeah, I got this. I never told her. And she was always trying to find something. It's just like you playing around on the internet. She didn't understand. She had no clue. And I think it was her misguided attempt to try to grow me up. And it was funny too because I've taken care of not one but two families in my lifetime. And I'm probably gonna be taking care of a third, but it's gonna be totally different the third time. It was just really wild the ideals that people have when you make significantly better choices than they do. So it's a crazy thing because this is why I am not for the fire movement. I don't think you should retire early. I think you should reach a point where you have financial independence. But you 35 and you talking about that's just crazy. That's just there's so many things that are going to happen when you're 40 and when you're 50 and when you're 60 that you can't even conceive or think about when you're 35. I just it's crazy. your, your your subconscious mind's behaving like a wild bull. Quentin Jackson, I love Range Rovers, but my girlfriend wants a Mercedes G Wagon. At one point I wanted a Mercedes G Wagon. And then I did some research and I found out there were some things I did not like about that G Wagon. So, it's a very much a status symbol car. Adonis, what is your reading info gathering? Oh, I research every day. But see, I don't research like there's different methodologies. The way that I research is I look at the macro market of what's happening. Like this may be a video, it may not, but I wanted to do the research to compile all of the stores because if you didn't notice, BuzzFeed's having a problem. There was this YouTuber that was invested in this media company. They took shares versus cash. This company went out of business. What's happening is we're moving into a point where free attention is disappearing. Organic reach is disappearing. So you had these companies that were built on this free attention, and then they would charge advertisers for this attention. What happened is people got so crazy with what they were charging, $150,000 for a commercial, $250,000, $300,000 to shoot a video plus equity share. And then brands started to like, wait a minute, how'd you get started? In your father's garage with a cheap camera? So brands were like, wait a minute, why instead of us paying influencers, why don't we create influencers? Cheaper, but more importantly, they have 100% control. Can you say soap operas? This is what you're going to have. You're going to see a big disturbance in the video marketing space because so many people are starting YouTube channels, podcasts, or building certain business to be acquired or to get a sponsor. They're not starting businesses to make money, which is just crazy to me. Stack the Flipper. What's up, Glendon? Just got a $200,000 construction contract. About to go in, but I still want to keep my eBay and Craigslist reselling. I'm doing over $6K a month. Might not have enough time to do both. Hire someone. If you got a $200,000 contract, you need to have your full attention on that $200,000 contract. And even if the person you hire to get your eBay business rolling is costing you 2 to 3K a month, it's still keeping you going because this is something else. You stop your eBay business, and we'll talk about this in investing in yourself, it's going to be hard to regain momentum. Christian, what you've been saying for the past year has finally clicked in my head as far as acquiring more skills in order to reach my end goal. I decided to go into IT while doing training part time. Hey, man, that's a good move because right now, just talk about my field. The YouTube landscape is drastically changing, and a lot of people are going to get caught slipping. And what's going to happen is people are going to get tired of merch. People are going to get tired of joining stuff. Like you pay, your 1,000 true fans, they'll pay forever. But after that, people are just going to have to start offering real value, real service to make real money. That's just what it is. I mean, I fortunately came into YouTube like that. I don't have to make an adjustment. What's happening is the world is circling back around to my way of doing stuff. It's very, very eye-opening. I see it with all types of people. I see it with a lot of these eBay, FBA folks. I know one, he started converting as much money as he could into real estate because he's like, this thing's about to be over. What's up, Johnny Walton? I don't know what's going on, Silver New Jack. My personal views on the weed business have not changed. I don't think they're ever going to change. But you're going to have a whole bunch of small players, and you're going to have a handful of dominant players. And the dominant players are going to be the folks who've been in the weed business for the last 15 years. That's who's going to be running stuff. All right. Thank you, Quentin Jackson, for the $2. Yep, you can go to moneyinfoandprofit.com, and there it is for free. It's first course. I'm done. It's my favorite show right now. Is Blue Collar Millionaires. You're gonna see a lot more of that. Plumbers, like take a small plumber. Let's say a plumber has 10 trucks, which is a lot. That plumber more than likely is a millionaire. These guys driving these dump trucks, and they have 5 or 10 dump trucks. Once again, Joshua Crunchfield, what would you buy if you had 20K by the end of July 2019? Absolutely nothing. I would leave my 20K in the bank, and I would start a service business and make more money. Let's talk about this. Let's go a little further. I don't know if you were thinking like this, but anything under $1 million, let's say 500,000. Anything under $500,000 is going to take decades to turn into something. So if you're young, you're 16, you got 20K, and you put it in an annuity, yeah, that's a good move. Or you buy some dividend paying stock, yeah, that's a good move. But if you're like 30-something to 40-something, keep your 20K in the bank as an emergency fund. Find you a service business, because another thing that we're going to get into, and hold on, let me get into this. Let's see if that part came through. And this is what's going to take the longest. Going in. Oh, it did not. Oh, it didn't populate. I'll do another video and I'll send out an email. But we're going to talk about digital hustles and offline hustles. Now, the digital thing is going to be very different. So I'm going to go out and say, hey, you can do this thing, and the expected yield in year 1 to 5 is going to be this. We're going to start breaking down some of these digital hustles. We're going to break down some of these offline hustles. And that could potentially be an ongoing thing because there's a lot to go over. So that's something else that's coming. But once again, um, be sure to get into your basic financial education course first. Start going through that, because what's going to happen is each course is going to build upon the information from the first course. First course, the second course, the third course is going to be congruent. It's not going to be that this is wildly different over here than this thing over there. It's not going to be like that. Just to let you guys know. Okay. All right, good deal. Yeah. Once again, you can make money, and this is something else that we're going to deal with and invest in yourself. We're going to get away from what I call hustleistic hustles. Johnny Walton, someone's charging up these scooters to make extra money. How can you scale that? How can you systematize that? How can you get it to the point where it's making 10, 20, 30K a month? I really don't know. But the things that, and this is going to help, because the stuff that's going to be in Invest Yourself are going to be real concepts that you can turn into, like some of the digital hustles will be things you can turn into full-time income. And, offline, I don't know. I don't know how many things are going to be in there. Moving company. I have seen so many guys with no degree come up by starting a moving company. This one dude, Jason, he started one truck. He lived with his girlfriend. He's like, I gotta get me two trucks. I gotta get me two trucks. He lived with his girlfriend. He moved like a maniac, bought another truck, almost paid cash for it. Then did double the moves, got that truck paid off. He bought another truck, still living with his girlfriend. And he got up to 4 trucks. And that's when he actually got an office. He ran all this stuff out of his girlfriend's house. And then the deal they had was that once he got on, she could do whatever he wanted. And they're married to this day. But, they actually work together. But see, I mean, how many dudes are going to be making that kind of money and keep reinvesting in their company? Save interest, repeat. The plumber can make 125K per truck. So 10 trucks, $1 million gross revenue. If he has good margins, he's bringing home 200K or more. Dude, the repo man gonna be working overtime. Probably already is. Yes, the link is in the description for your basic financial education course. And this week, and essentially everybody who bought the basic financial course, I'm going to send you a special link where you can go in and you won't have to pay what you have to pay. All right, so just a little tune up of what's to come. The day is Monday, so we will get a little live. This may be a 7 video week, seven days of video. There's a lot about to go down. So I'll see you guys later. If you want to be financially literate, not in the I know what a stock is, I know how to put a margin call. Once again, this works if you got the money. You want to know why so many guys know all of this stuff in this what I call financial wizardry? Is they don't have the skills to make 100 to 250 or 300K in a year. If they had the skills to make 100, 200, 350K a year, they wouldn't have to do all this financial wizardry. All right, so I will see you guys in the next stream or next video.